All right, hold it right there. You know, Dr. Ignatius Kibe is here. You, my people, you should hear what he is telling me. That's what we'll be discussing this morning. What is that? Stages of menopause. So we learn everything and anything to do with menopause. He's telling me that at that age, by the way, they can do something that will get you back into being a girl. Don't you want that? Well, how? We get to know as we continue with the broadcast. Karibu sana Dr. Ignatius Kibe, who's a gynecologist. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
We hope today
pleasure.
we're going to have ample time, so we get to that level.
We never have sufficient time. You better extend the day.
I hope my producer, my director is hearing that. I really hope we would extend the day. But yes, here we are. We're just learning something to do with menopause. Every girl should be keen to listen to this, right? Those
Absolutely.
ones who are at that stage already, but even us who are headed there, we are a candidate. Like all girls are candidates.
Men should also know about menopause.
But
because
why?
It takes two to attend. They
okay,
know.
All right. So when she gets to this stage, you need to understand her.
You must understand her. You must know what is not happening. You must go with the times. You must expect it.
Okay.
And probably, like you started with, assist her to get back to the earlier years.
Okay.
There are many ways of reversing the clock.
You know, I'm tempted to say we start from there. It's like we're starting backwards. Are we going to get to that stage?
Well, sometimes you see in the journeys, you can even start from heaven and work backwards.
And point is home still.
And you can start from here and climb up to heaven. It depends on the interest of people, but it's better to start from the base.
All right. What is menopause?
Na wewe.
Na mimi nini? Kuna mtu ajui?
Menopause is the cessation when the woman grows older and older and reaches a stage where she's no longer the girl she was at 18.
Yeah.
And gradually, and it could take a long time, up to 5 years, she loses the girlhood and the womanhood and stops the monthly menstrual flows. And the body seems to react, the body seems to age. And when she no longer gets menstruation because of the natural process, that is menopause, it can come anywhere from some girls as early as 35. Some women up to 55, they're still having their menses.
Okay.
So menopause is cessation or stoppage or reduction of the active womanhood and reduction or complete cessation of monthly menstrual cycles.
So you say that it can hit in as early as 35?
Oh, absolutely. It depends on the
Those are special cases.
individuals. It also depends on lifestyle. It depends on what drugs you've taken throughout your life.
Okay.
There are no special cases. These days, women can even provoke menopause when, for example, she over or misuses family planning, and she becomes anovulatory, and the ovulation does not come back. So it can start very early at 35, can start at 40. It's individualistic. You can start at 50, and over the whole world, we've done a survey. We started from Australia, we came to Asia, Africa, and Europe, and the Americas, and we found the median age, the average age, when a woman just has to give in is 51.
Okay.
51 years, and the whistle is blown, and the lady becomes a girl. The woman becomes a girl again. She will not have menses. She becomes below 30.
I have met very old people very old mamas with kids or with babies.
Yeah, it's the rare case. Like I said, it is true. Some women have become pregnant even at 50, 51, 52. But I say the median, the average age
It's 51.
is 51.
Okay.
At 51, any woman that does not get her periods should know she has become a young girl below 13.
So that is the main sign and or the main symptom that would get you saying that, you know what, now I have hit menopause, or there are other things that will be happening in your system, in your body, you know, your hormones, and you'd get to know that now menopause is hitting in.
Menopause is very gradual. Menopause could, like we said, start very early.
Okay.
And gradually the problems come. There are several problems, if we may call them that. You can start as early as, like we said, 35, climax at 45, and you know, the average age when a woman now says, I pack my bags, I'll not have my periods anymore, is the average age is 51. I've said it for the second time.
Yeah.
Graduality, the speed also depends on lifestyle. We have realized that women who smoke, women who drink a lot, women who are careless with their family planning methods get menopause earlier.
Okay.
Women who eat well, and quote unquote, eat well, means not eat expensive. And people in Africa make a mistake of thinking eating well is probably eating a lot of meat and the chips and probably going for pizzas. No, eating well means take care of the food, balance your food, and we're going, the whole world is going towards greens. In Asia, even in hotels, there is a veg and non-veg space. Even in the, you go to the aeroplane in a place like India, Sri Lanka, those Asiatic countries, and Pakistan, and you'll be asked, do you want to sit in the vegetarian side or the non-veg side? And they have proved, and I have seen it also in Kenya, it's proven that the veg people delay their menopause. That means green vegetables, means a lot of plants. It looks like God intended that we eat plants more than we eat these proteins.
Right.
And Africans are very good. They think that eating a lot of protein, eating a lot of meat is the in thing. It shows they are rich. No, in the contrary, we want to encourage women, if they also want to delay their menopause, it's not just childbirth, menopause generally. And if these women want to age gracefully, go veg side.
Okay. A
lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits, fluid, and also one thing that can maintain that girlish, that what do you call it? The
glow, right?
Yeah, glowing skin and the face and the legs and I don't know, reduced pot. Reduce carbohydrates and increase greens and fruits. So generally, if you want us to talk about menopause, I would probably mention a few signs that menopause is on the way.
Okay.
Number one, you start getting this lady becoming anovulatory. Anovulatory means the egg is no longer maturing and dropping. And she does not conceive as easily as when she was 24, 25 to 30. You know, when there is very slow conception rate, that is a sign that things are not good. She may be having the eggs over, but they are not turning into babies. Number two, this woman starts feeling like there is something wrong in her private parts. There is itching without any reason.
Yeah.
And sometimes I must tell ladies, I must also tell my colleagues, When a woman at around 50 tells you that she's uncomfortable down there, don't rush to injections. Get to know her age, get to know her lifestyle. Don't push injections, antibiotics, antifungals, antivirus. Get to know how she's feeling and check, do a culture and sensitivity of her urine or high vaginal swab. You know, test before you give these huge antibiotics. Many doctors will start treating for malaria, some will start treating for gonorrhea, some will start say you have infections, so-called infections. Not necessarily. You start feeling uncomfortable down there. The third sign and symptom is lowered libido. Okay. If I had this lady who is approaching menopause, is not excited about her husband or whatever goes on in the bedroom. She's sluggish. She doesn't want it. You know, you have to bring her up and around. Takes longer. She washes dishes in the kitchen until midnight.
Until you sleep.
Sometimes you find we men will ask, these dishes will even tear off because she's still doing
washing them again and again
and washing the house. Yeah. Why wash houses and floors after 10 in the night? Okay, this is a woman who is approaching menopause. Now, the fourth one is the common one, which many girls and women will talk about, hot flashes. Okay. She occasionally gets very, the body seems like she's in a hot tub or something. She feels a lot of heat around the bust. She feels, they even sweat, so much so that they throw away their blankets and bed sheets. There's a sign of menopause. You find she's sweating, the neck is sweating, breasts are sweating, the chest is sweating, down there is sweating, the back is sweating. That is a sign of menopause. The other one is quite often she gets bleeding irregularly, you know. Sometimes between her periods, she bleeds.
So you're supposed to not have your period, but then again, you're bleeding.
It's very important for you. That's one thing I'm concerned about ladies. Over time I've observed ladies do not know themselves. It's very important that you know when to expect your menses. Yeah. And the signs and symptoms that this is bleeding that is abnormal, this is not menses, and this is bleeding that is probably due to even cancer sometimes causes bleeding. Things like cysts can cause bleeding. Things like hemorrhoids can cause bleeding. Things like fibroids can also cause bleeding. Yeah. Ladies, you must learn your body. You must take care of your body and pay attention to your body, the signals. Some ladies come telling me after a good intercourse with my husband, my lover, I bleed. That is an abnormal bleeding. This is what I'm talking about. I'm saying there is the normal menses on average again. This is an average of 28 days. Some girls go for 22, up to 35 days. In between, the average is again, on average, 28 days. Okay. So if you notice, in between this 28-day cycle, there is bleeding and very irregular. Sometimes the bleeding is not even continuous for 3 days. It is just spotting. You must ask yourself, what is happening here? The fourth issue is they become more forgetful. As women approach...
It must be very hard to be a woman. You know?
they are always... Yeah. Now, you realize that a lady approaching menopause, she has to write something, a buying list to the shop. Because if she tries to remember when she goes to the supermarket or to the shop, to a kiosk, and she wants to bring back sugar and the tea leaves and the onion and ugali flour and I don't know, cooking fat, and quite often they forget. They only to reach home and find, oh,
this is what I wanted to get.
This, I didn't bring tea leaves, and tomorrow morning I have to make tea for kids. So they forget more. The women in menopause, the stage of menopause, sometimes they look for a phone so long in the bag until it stops ringing. They don't know where. She has the bag. It has many pouches, and she doesn't know exactly where it is. I have had occasions when somebody says, can you call my phone? I don't know whether it is in the kitchen or is in the sitting room or in the bathroom. Can you call my phone? That is a woman approaching menopause. And quite often, you know, sometimes they are funny.
Okay.
Cognitive tendencies and cognitive. Well, she has nieces and nephews and relatives and friends. She mixes them up. You find this lady who is approaching menopause, you meet somebody and she says, hi, Linda.
And this is not Linda.
And this is not Linda. She's calling Wanjiko. Kumbe, she
wants Wanjiro.
She wants Wanjiro Wanjeri.
Okay.
When her nephews and nieces go to high school and come back after 1 year, she can't recognize them. Sometimes it's a man and she's passing by and is a friend of the husband and says, hi, how are you? How is the old man? Is he still there? Are you taking good care of him? And as soon as he goes away, she asks, by the way, who was that? So that is a sign of menopause.
Okay.
Some women, as they approach menopause, you find they grow 1 or 2 strands of hair on the chin. Like there is andropause, there is manhood coming in. They notice that there is a strand or even several beard.
Okay.
That's a sign of menopause. The other sign of menopause is, of course, osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a situation where bones, bones have lost a lot of their stuff. The bones are brittle, and you find something happens as she approaches menopause. She used to carry water up the staircase in a bucket, probably from a tap. She doesn't want to do that. She used to really like going for parties and going for women chamas, groups. And these days, she says, muende munilipie.
Oh.
She doesn't want to go. Bones are brittle, and she walks with care. She used to take 2 or 3 steps at a go when climbing a staircase. These days, she's careful. She goes slowly, and it is true. Menopausal women get fractures very easily.
Oh.
Very, very easily. The bones are brittle and weak, and she doesn't want to strain them. A woman who is approaching menopause also has mood swings, and she's very quarrelsome. That's why I say the men be careful.
Yes.
They have.
Also, that's why men need to know.
Absolutely, and even the children.
Okay.
You find she quarrels them unnecessarily. Women who are menopausal, she after breakfast she says, and you, Teresa, make sure those utensils are washed. Within 2 seconds, Teresa, what did I say? I said the utensils should be. She goes into a tantrum for nothing. Men, be careful. When your woman is reaching menopause, she will quarrel you for nothing. My professor used to say, women swim in an ocean of hormones.
Hormones, okay.
In the morning, she's excited and she's kissing everybody in the house and happy. A menopausal woman suddenly changes. By 10 o'clock, she becomes moody and anuna.
How dangerous is it for the people around her not to notice some of these changes in, her hormones and?
Sometimes it has precipitated even divorce and separation.
Okay.
Because the man just can't understand these hormonal changes. By the way, now mention the word hormone. There is a particular hormone that made you the beauty you are,
okay,
and gave you the protuberances that you have front,
all right,
and it makes you and made you have that soft voice.
Yes, that we can tell this is a woman without. Yeah.
Estrogens.
Okay.
Estrogen is going down very fast during menopause.
All right.
That's why we are getting manly character. That's why we are getting, erratic behavior.
You want to dominate.
By lunchtime, she's not talking to anybody. She doesn't want to see the husband, and she's quarreling. They go through tantrums. Mm-hmm. They have anxiety. And a lot of, sometimes depression, total depression. She comes in the house in the evening, she doesn't want to talk to anybody. That's menopausal, and she goes about, she sometimes brings in Christian or whatever music, and she's singing to herself. and that is menopause.
Yeah.
The people in the house must understand. Sometimes children will be left asking, "Mumemfanya nini mama? What did you do to mom?" She's so annoyed with everybody. She gets annoyed even with the sufurias and the cats in the house, and she kicks them around. That is a menopausal woman.
Okay.
Menopausal women, the juice she had when she was in her 40s. By the way, there is a saying, life starts at 40. Mm-hmm. Women become more, call it sexy, although it's in the morning, around the 40s, they become
bubbly and
they get excited, and they want to control everything that's around them.
This is for the women. Life begins at 40s for the women. Not it doesn't cut across for the men.
No, it doesn't cut across. By then, the man is entering into what we call midlife crisis.
Okay.
He wants to buy a car. He
wants everything. He realizes
somebody is conning him. He wants to build a better house. He wants to show off to his boyfriends, and he wants to go home and drink with the men he left in the village. The man is going through a midlife crisis. The woman wants the man more. She's telling him, "Why were you late? Who is with you? You and Kibe, these days you can't come home. You are spending, you must be seeing Linda." Mm-hmm. That's a woman at 40. A woman at 51, in the contrary, she's just tired, tired of your company, and she's not excited. And coincidentally, their activity in the bedroom reduces, and they dry up. They have to buy jellies and ointments and creams, and sometimes baby oils to lubricate their private parts during and she doesn't give a damn. These are the ones that you hear they tell you when you finish. They will tell the husband, when you finish with what you are doing, cover me up, I'm asleep. So she leaves the man struggling alone. She doesn't. She used to be very good those days when she was younger. Now she says, when you finish, cover me up.
Let me know. Hold it right there. But we said we can reverse that.
Yes, well.
Everything in this time and age can be worked on. That's the most interesting bit that we are all eagerly waiting for. So how about we take a quick break, we come back, understand some more about diagnoses and how best this can be treated. I'm told again, there's some treatments that you can get to at least
to improve,
manage and improve.
To bring back the girl in the woman.
To this break. Why am I? Why crocodile inaweza tokea juu. Hiyo sijakula hata unataka nikufe kabla ni. I don't like it. I don't. Miss Kai na hipo ikitokelezea ivuruche simu yangu. No, ni sawa. Those who know me will tell you I'm not a lover of large volumes of water. But for you, we roam the different parts of the country and beyond just to make sure that we bring you the experience. We educate you, we entertain you, and we inform you.
that it's not political and it can do something.
As we sail the boat of Morning Cafe to enlighten you, entertain you, and inform you every Monday to Friday, only on TV 47.
Woo. Construction can be quite a task, but how do you move from finding your piece of land, sourcing the right materials, getting the right labor force to put up your building? Or better yet, how do you source for a building that's already built?
Just a small size of land can suit just a big maisonette because you are going high.
How do you ensure you get the right finishes to bring out the aesthetic value of your property and make it not only look good, but also feel good?
The buyers in this area are the buyers who are able to
Welcome back to the broadcast. We are learning menopause today, the stages, the symptoms, what needs to be done to make sure that, you know, this lady is able to manage it. You're able to manage it as a family. Like Taria says, you know what, if not well managed, it can go to, you know, extremes where we definitely will not appreciate. We do not want to lose your mom at the age of 51 just because you could not manage this. So it's really important that we learn some of the nitty-gritty details, and we also get to understand what are the medical approaches to making sure that, again, a woman is able to manage this. We all agree that, you know, it's a stage where we can't run away from. And therefore, if we can't run away from this stage, then what are some of the key things that come along medically that would help a woman, you know, just, you know, manage her hormones? Yes?
To guess that I'm in menopausal, there is an area called the perimenopausal.
Yes.
It is worse than menopause itself.
What area is this?
Peri is like a perimeter. So after somebody hits 45, you know, it's gradual. It's not on your mark, get set, everybody stop bleeding. No, sometimes she gets her periods, stays for 3 months without periods. We call it amenorrhea, menopausal amenorrhea.
Okay.
And then periods come and they seem like the volume of blood and the type of blood is different. And she goes to a doctor, and that's why I'm repeatedly telling the doctors,
yes,
and the nurses and the midwives and everybody, be very careful how you handle menopause, because she could be having, we call it, those of us who are a bit older, we used to call it hapo syndrome. Mm-hmm. She seems to have problems with her upper back, the scapulars. She seems to have problems with her digestion. She seems to have problems with the headaches. Something I almost forgot. Headaches, dizziness, unnecessary dizziness, and some doctors will even probably give hematinics and drugs to increase the what do you call it, the HB hemoglobin level. Mm-hmm. And these signs and symptoms must be understood, because she could be having the other problem that you are probably suggesting, like leukemia, like anemia, but it is exacerbated. It's made worse by the perimenopausal syndrome.
Okay.
And you find, you know, hapo syndrome I was talking about. Mm-hmm. She doesn't seem to know precisely where her medical problem is. Mm-hmm. And you have to probe and go deeper and get to really understand her life history. And you must understand her when she was not perimenopausal. Mm-hmm. How was her menses? How was her behavior? How was her weight loss and weight gain? Don't dash and say you have an STD, because sometimes it causes itching down there.
So the signs and symptoms are similar to other conditions.
Exactly. We must be very careful.
Okay.
And more particularly with other pathological and other gynecological problems, like I mentioned earlier. This one, fibroids, for example. Mm-hmm. ovarian cysts, for example,
Yeah.
they are made worse, or the symptomatology of fibroids is mixed up with the menopause. And where I went to school, they told us, don't rush with there are some doctors that are surgeons who are scalpel happy, you know. They dash and they'll say, let us operate, let us remove these fibroid. Sometimes it's not a big fibroid, or it could be just starting. So first check the effect of menopause on fibroids, because after the 51 years and after menopause, the fibroids either become static and don't grow again, or sometimes even reduce in size. So it's very important for doctors to be, probably to even give her a clinic 3-4 times, monthly clinics, so before you take the scalpel, because the menopausal symptoms can exacerbate, like we said, the other problem. And we don't want to take the woman to theater unnecessarily. Now, the other thing about menopause is that it is different from every woman. You know, this one experiences the problem, this one does not experience any problem. This lady thinks she knows. Some women know, some women don't know. So, and there is a problem these days, and I wish to advise you ladies, when you go to your salon, your hairdos, and there are some women who are like, you know, doctors there. They tell you, no, do this, no, do that. Oh, you bled, do this. Hey, you have this disease, you have that disease. Avoid this over-the-counter doctors. In your salons, you are doing your probably your nails. And somebody is really, this is not an infection, but somebody insists, hey, your husband is going out. And you find the woman, when she goes home, she has that mentality. He comes at midnight, and I told you, by that time, the man in the house is also going through his own problem, when we gave it a title of midlife crisis. He's changing a car. He's building a house. He's buying a plot. By that time, his relatives, another brother at home who is drinking and enjoying himself, has a daughter or a son who has passed the KCPE or KCSE very well, and is going to the next higher class. And the man in the house is being told, you must educate this child. Parents also become needy when the man is between 45 and 55. This is the main problem, what we call the midlife crisis. The church recognizes the man, and they want to make him the treasurer. They want him to be. They even check in a funeral meetings, how much did he pay on the wall, what. Even con men will have noticed this man has become of age financially. They want to con him and sell air for a plot and fake title deeds. So when all this is going on, the woman is now here with her menopausal problems. So the house becomes very uncomfortable place, and things seem to change. And that's why I said, now these external doctors, these doctors in your hairdo place, you must be very careful with them. And then I'm also telling our colleagues, the pharmacists, over the counter, she says, I'm itching down there. And he brings a very complicated steroid with a B. And I always tell these girls and the pharmacists, steroids, this thing ending with a B, something B. Something B, that is betamethasone. Another one is hydrocortisone. All those steroids. it looks like it works in a miracle. You apply it down there, and within the next 24 hours, it looks like you are healed. Kumbe, it is causing more harm than good. It did do its anti-inflammatory effect, but its side effects, the long-term side effects could be terrible. So be very careful. Ladies, when you are perimenopausal, don't use steroids. They are not called for. You'll spoil yourself. You'll spoil probably your kidneys. You can you can even become diabetic because of menopause. Because you are swallowing this, swallowing that. I called it Hapanahapo syndrome. So people must be very careful. You must identify, and we said it could be a prolonged period of time. Now, there is another sign of menopause. We said you have dizziness, you feel tired-ish. Headache. And then it appears like you have a heart disease. The heart is pounding. For no reason, the lady feels like the heart will come out through the skin. Like it is, like they have a cardiomegaly of some type. Be very careful, because it is not probably even a heart disease. Yes, heart diseases increase with menopause, but this particular one that I'm talking about is a mild condition, something that just happens and it's coming to pass, but you find, again, without proper diagnosis, without doing an electrocardiogram, an echocardiogram, without checking the heart and the peripheral vascular diseases, the telangiectasias, without checking these things, you are putting her on very big, huge, probably antihypertensives, probably you are treating diabetes, and it was just a shoot of the diabetes or blood sugar due to reduced, I'm repeating this, reduced estrogens.
So in this case, upon diagnosis and it's confirmed that, well, these are signs and symptoms of, menopause clocking in, what goes into the aspect of the treatment?
Well, like we said, first and foremost is do as much diagnostic procedures as you can, because you could damage this lady, and this is a transition, is a period of time that you are moving from one level to another in your age. It's just like young men who are just about to probably to go into puberty, and you find their breasts are bigger and engorged, and they are producing watery or like milk, and the people think the boy has cancer. No, this is a transition. Now there is a process to answer you. We have what we call hormonal replacement therapies. This is where that hormone that was going down, the estrogen, and when the estrogens go down, I told you some time back that in me are also estrogens. In you are also androgens. You have testosterone, yes, you do. And I have estrogens. So, and estrogens are for women. So we replace the estrogen in the woman. Watch out. These estrogens, there are certain we call them conjugated estrogens. They can be a pack, several of them. They can be in a tablet. We even have creams. You see, creams that ladies, because we said she could dry up in the act. The gland that we talked about some time back, the Bartholin's gland, just does not produce the juice downstairs. The cervix dries up very easily. So she's no longer enjoying. So we have conjugated estrogenic creams. We have creams, yes. There is a company, I'll name it because it looks like it is on its own in that area, called IAST. I asked. And this company produces creams that will make the private part more moist and can even raise libido, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Well, there is a cream in town. There are creams in town. There are tablets in town. And they take them in very small doses, in micrograms, like the package that I'm talking about, the conjugated estrogens. You swallow a tablet in the morning, and you also apply the cream. And you reverse the effect of aging and the effect of sometimes they become girlish.
Oh.
They go back to their 20s.
Ew.
And now the man in the house must be careful. When she buys these conjugated estrogenic creams,
Which will obviously have its side effects.
it
also.
will have its own side effects.
Yeah.
In fact, they say if you overdose again with these hormonal replacement therapies, we call it HRT. We even have injections for hormonal replacement therapies. Overuse and misuse can even lead again to cancer.
Ooh.
So it must be very properly controlled against prescriptions, the cream. And sometimes you find some doctors, Kibe included, would like to dilute the estrogenic creams with formulations that are aqueous,
Okay.
that make the lady want, not overwant,
Okay,
just
just
want
enough.
For probably a good night every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And be very careful when you prescribe and when you dispense estrogens, because they can have, again, they can overdo or have side effects. Some of that can be very, very dramatic and can change the life of the woman. So there are drugs. Of course, there is lifestyle. Expose yourself more. There is this problem of a woman going into a cocoon of her own, or a group of women of the same age, and they want to just sit and women are very good at gossip.
I agree.
Due respect, but it's well known.
You start by telling me that, but it's right. I agree.
So they no longer want to go for a walk. They no longer want to go for probably games. It's very important for ladies after 45 years to get a type of an exercise, to engage, to go out, go to the gym, probably make a gym in your house, probably just a brisk walk. A brisk walk is very important for menopausal women. Some women, you find they have small, lovely dogs, and they go out and they walk 2 or 3 kilometers with a tethered dog.
Why is it important?
Because when you do that, first of all, you remove from your brain that I'm aging. You also expose those organs that we talked about. You see, in your joints, we talked about arthritis of menopause. We talked about weak muscles. We talked about a pounding heart. We talked about dizziness. We talked about eyesight is a problem. When she tries to concentrate, even on reading her Bible, there is no concentration when she is menopausal. So because of all this, you find if she changes, there is no better exercise than a brisk walk and seeing the beauty, the godly outside the beauty. Then it's very good exercise. People don't know. I was joking with somebody who is in Washington in America, and I was telling them that in America, law is made for 3 things, 3 people, three items. One, law protects women very much. American law protects children. Very, very much. The American law protects dogs.
Oh, yes.
You play with somebody's dog in Washington and you're in trouble. In fact, they spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
So what we are talking about, why we are bringing this up is a dog will help somebody will give somebody company. Go and see the flowers, have your own small garden, kitchen garden, go and visit your friend, go just change the scene. Don't spend a menopausal woman should not spend all her time in the kitchen, all her time in the bedroom, all her time, like we said, washing the floor. No, get out, see the flowers, see God's beauty, see birds, even see a snake.
Okay.
And get those experiences.
Yes.
And remove your brain from the what you would call routine sites and experiences. So it's very important for menopausal women to change their positions, to change their and they have cravings, by the way.
Oh, yes.
They want this type of food. And men, quietly, slowly, men give up on women and they eat what you bring to table. And now that means the dictate of a menopausal woman
Is what
makes the man now wonder what is happening here. I'm so good. Now, a menopausal woman will insist, I want my bed to have new bed sheets and it is today. And I saw those bed sheets somewhere in an expensive place. I want this type of crockery and I'm changing the crockery today. That is menopausal. That's the push of menopause. And meanwhile, I want you to come home with drugs. I'm feeling dizzy. Bring me tablets for headache. I feel like my heart I have a heart problem. Take me to Dr. So-and-so.
Treated or not, these signs and symptoms or these stages, are there scenarios where now you skip the stages and now you get to a point where you go back to normalcy?
Absolutely. Slowly, but it's individualistic. I've seen ladies who have gone to 60, up to 65, they are still having the bouts of heat waves on their body, what you call hot flashes. I've seen ladies, because of menopausal syndrome that caused osteoporosis that we talked about, they get fractures. You get some women who have the pounding of the heart ends up with as a cardiac disease. So it's very important to treat them early with a hormonal replacement or with an exercise. Going out, probably diet, sometimes just lifestyle, sometimes living certain things that you really loved when you were younger, and it reverses, slowly it reverses.
Okay.
Of course, once you get into a syndrome, and I want to mention what a syndrome is that confusing state of affairs where very many things seem to be happening at the same time. This woman is complaining about backache, the lower back, legs, heart. This is a syndrome. It's like we say AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Very many signs and symptoms coming simultaneously or together, one after the other. Menopause is a syndrome. And in Kiswahili, I said, we call it hapa na hapo syndrome.
So there's a lot of
confusion. And it's, again, the people in the house, including the husband particularly, to understand. And the woman to take care of herself and to also not become harsh.
Yeah.
And to remember that she can easily overdo things.
Okay.
And it's a transition. She's moving from the late womanhood back to girlhood.
Okay. Daktari, asante sana. Time again.
Yeah.
Tumemaliza. Your number please as we close.
Now, if anybody would like, even those who are menopausal or those who are approaching menopause, my number is 0722 534444. 0722 53 4444.
Text. Do not call.
The
not
best.
disturb a doctor.
Thank you very much, Linda.
Thank you so much. Dr. Ignatius Kibe, asante sana. We've learned so much about menopause. By the time I'm done with these classes, I think I'll be a specialist. But importantly, at least I get to understand me better.
Yes, let all women, we are repeating, let all women know themselves.
That's true. Thank you so much. I get to see you again tomorrow. My name is Linda Alela. It was good having you. Have a lovely, lovely week ahead.